Yes. Yeah. Who's gonna cue me? Come on. Start. Start na. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 35th regular meeting and the second Rotary Anns Day of the Rotary Club of Makati for Rotary Year 2021-22. I am Cecil Dayrit, Ann of past President Junjun Dayrit, and I will be your moderator for today. For the information of our new members, who are called baby Rotarians, and for our guests, wives of RC Makati Rotarians are called Rotary Anns, which was what Rotarians' wives were called back in the day when Rotary membership was exclusive to men. While most Rotary clubs have shifted to the generic, non-gender specific term spouse to refer to their better halves, we, anchored in tradition as we are, prefer to use the old term Rotary Anns. Today is Rotary Anns Day, our second for this Rotary year. The first Anns Day was last February 22 with Dr. Mingita Padilla as guest speaker. Rotary Anns Day is a special day when we Anns take charge of the day's program by planning it, deciding on the guest speaker, giving out assignments among ourselves, such as invocator, guest speakers, introducer, fine master, and moderator. We fill in all the assignments of the program except one, that of the president. He still calls the meeting to order and delivers his president's time, and he adjourns the meeting. Before I call on our president to officially call the meeting to order, allow me to remind you of the House rules. Please be advised that microphones of non-program participants who are joining us online will be muted to help keep the background noise to a minimum. May we request the visiting Rotarians and guests who are joining us online to please type in the comment box your name, your club or affiliation, or the Rotarian who invited you to participate in this program. For our open forum after the talk of the speaker, in case you want to ask a question online, please use the raise hand button or simply notify us by typing in the comment box. Alternatively, you may want to type in your question and we will try to accommodate it during the Q&A. And now to officially start the meeting, may I call our President Louis Asoche to call the meeting to order.
By the powers vested in me by the Rotary Club of Makati and our Anns, I call this meeting to order.
Thank you, President Louis. Now, may I call on First Ann Tess Asioche, wife of our President Louis, to deliver the invocation.
Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. God of grace, thank you for the opportunity to gather this day. We thank you for all the blessings that you have relentlessly showered upon us, most especially the safety and good health of everyone in this meeting. Continue to protect us, shield us from this COVID-19, so that we can still enjoy each other's company. We open our hearts, minds, and souls to you and humbly ask for your unwavering guidance in that everything we learn today reflects your holy will. May we always fulfill your duty as stewards of service, and that we may likewise bring support to those most in need. May everything we do be for your glory. This we ask through our Lord Jesus Christ, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, God forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you. First, Ann Tess. May I request everyone now to put their right hand on their chest for the Philippine National Anthem to be followed by the RC Makati hymn.
We're the Rotary Club of Makati, and together we stand proud. We are leaders with integrity, always ready to serve humanity, always living by the four-way test, building goodwill and peace along the way. To aid our fellow men, as true Rotarians we live to lead. We believe in service above self, and this is why we succeed. We're the Rotary Club of Makati, and together we stand proud. We are leaders with integrity, always ready to serve humanity, always living by the four-way test, building goodwill and peace along the way, giving hope to the world. We're the Rotary Club of Makati, giving hope to the world. The Rotary Club of Makati.
This juncture, may I request everyone to repeat after me as I lead the recitation of the four-way test. First, is it the truth?
The truth.
Second, is it fair to all concerned?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, everyone. Now it's time to recognize birthday and wedding anniversary celebrators. Celebrating his birthday is Alain Gashen on June 23rd. For wedding anniversaries, we have Rick and Bonnie Santos, June 21st. Jack and Sally Ponce Enrile, June 23rd. Eric and Christine Lee, June 25th. George and Irene Barcelon, June 26th. And David and Renalyn Nithyanantan, June 27. We would also like to acknowledge the visiting Rotarians and guests present today. We have for our dignitaries PDG Tony Kila and PDG Peps Bengson. For the Rotary Anns who are present today, we have first Ann Tess Asioche, Vicky Candada on Zoom, Trina Galvez on Zoom, Charina Garcia on Zoom, Pesha Garcia present today here in the Rotary office, Yvonne Kwan on Zoom, Angela Kila here in the Rotary office, and Ami Dilyatuya. We have in attendance too our guests, Marlene Krishnan, a guest of Ann Tesha Garcia, Pipi Megs Lun from RC Metro Calibo, Mary Rufino, and Benny. May I now call on President Louie for his president's time to give us an update on the goings on and upcoming activities of the club.
Thank you, Past First and Cecil Dayrit. So welcome to Rotary Anns Day, our second for this year. If a day has been designated as Rotary Anns Day, it means that our Anns, our loving Anns, will be running the program while we Rotarians stay on the sidelines as spectators for a change, just as what happens in real life in our respective households. Our guest speaker for today is Ms. Michelle Dayrit-Soliven, who will talk on a topic that us men have very little knowledge of, but which our aunts are experts in: jewelry. With the topic, every jewel has a story. This will be learning time for us men. Our aunts, of course, will be all ears. Our members, on the other hand, will be hiding their wallets to safety. Right, Bon? So welcome, Michelle. For those who weren't able to catch it earlier, we signed a sisterhood agreement with the Rotary Club of the County of Sonoma. Sonoma in Northern California is known for its good vineyards, and we are truly honored that this opportunity to have a sisterhood pact with them, arranged by our member Raymond Garcia, came. Thank you again to LCP Therese Nugent for obliging us with your time and the rest of the members of RC Sonoma. We hope to see you face to face soon and have a glass or two with you and your members there in Sonoma. On to our projects lately. The Kamanava has become a frequent site for our service project missions. The past 2 weeks have brought us to Malabon and Caloocan for a triple treat health mission that included a hearing test on June 1st in Malabon, an oral health mission that benefited over 100 students of Malabon National High School, circumcision for 10 male students at the Poly Health Clinic, and breast and cervical cancer screening mission in Dagat-Dagatan, Caloocan City for 100 mothers from Malabon and Caloocan. Allow me to share the RCM video news on this project of ours in Caloocan and in Malabon.
Just a week after visiting Malabon National High School, President Louie Asioche and First Antes were back in the Kamanava region, this time in the Barangay 14 Health Center in Dagat-Dagatan, Caloocan City, for a breast and cervical cancer screening activity. They were joined by past President Cesar Campos and his daughter Mariby, a member of our daughter club RC Makati Premier District. The short program started with a lecture by Dr. Romeo Mercaida on how to do self-check and the screening procedures for the breast. Dr. Mercaida made it clear to the women that breast cancer has high survival and cure rates if found early. He also assured the patients that in case they test positive, they will be supported with treatment. In his message, President Louie emphasized the importance of maternal health as an essential area of focus of Rotary.
Para sa inyo dito, para sa kalusugan ninyo, at para sa kalusugan ng mga i-conceive ninyo at ipapaluwal ninyo. Kaya nakakabit ang maternal health at saka child care sa isa sa pinakamahalagang area of focus ng Rotary. Kaya kami narito.
The Breast and Cervical Screening Mission, which is in partnership with the Philippine Cancer Society, Rotary Club of Makati Premier District, and Rotary Club of Grace Park, provided free screening to 100 mothers from Caloocan and Malabon through the mobile screening bus, a mobile facility funded by a global grant partly funded by the Rotary Club of Makati. The Kamanava region has become a popular site for the club's health projects this year, thanks to past President Cesar Campos, who has been main force in pushing the service project agenda in the area. Maternal health is an important contributor to child survival, as maternal infections and other poor conditions often contribute to high neonatal morbidity and mortality rates. The Rotary Club of Makati is committed to providing access to quality healthcare, especially in communities where such care is not easily accessible to mothers and children. We serve to change lives.
So I'd like to thank again past President Cesar Campos for leading these projects in Kamanava, as well as the Campos family-owned polyhealth clinic that has been our partner in our health projects in that area. Thank you as well to the Philippine Cancer Society for collaborating with us on this cancer screening mission, and our daughter club, RC Makati Premier District, for partnering with us on the use of the mobile screening bus. This mobile facility was funded by a global grant applied for by the Makati Premier District and partly funded by RC Makati. Now, the club's advocacy for good nutrition among young children received a big push on June 9, 2022 with the launch of the Caritas Damayan Supplementary Nutrition Program at the St. John Bosco in Tondo, Manila. Once again, please indulge me with this RCM video news on the project in Tondo.
The club's advocacy for good nutrition among young children received a big push on June 9, 2022, with the Caritas Damayan Supplementary Nutrition Program at St. John Bosco in Tondo, Manila. President Louie and First Ann were there personally to launch the program with Caritas Manila. During the short program, Father Anton Pascual, Executive Director of Caritas Manila, expressed gratitude to RC Makati for supporting the program.
So, salamat tayo, kakain tayo araw-araw, next 6 months, para gumanda ang inyong katawan, maging matalino, tumangkad, at lalo na yung gumanda, sapagkat mahal tayo ni Jesus. Amen?
For his part, President Louie expressed full commitment to the program that not only gives a fighting chance for children to survive, but also to break the vicious cycle of poverty.
We are fully committed to supporting this program for 120 days. We are going to start this now, June. So 6 months yan. Ang end will be on December. Maagang pamasko sa inyo ni Father Anton ng Caritas. Maagang pamasko sa inyo ni Father GC. At maagang pamasko sa inyo ng Rotary Club of Makati.
The program proceeded with the MOA signing to seal the partnership with Caritas Manila and the turnover of the 500,000 check in support of the program. The event ended with the distribution of hot meals to the enrolled participants. Caritas Manila is our partner in the other legacy program of the club, which is the Sanlakbay Drug Rehab Project. St. John Bosco Parish is just one of several communities that Caritas Manila is supporting for its supplemental feeding program that will provide nutritious meals to 157 undernourished children from poor families in Tondo, Manila, every day for 120 feeding days. The program, which ends in December this year at Don Bosco Parish, Tondo, will address the promotion of good health, food security and nutrition, and community mobilization and advocacy. Caritas will monitor the body mass index of the children each month to check the progress of the feeding program. What makes the supplemental feeding program of Caritas Manila special and sustaining is that the mothers will be personally involved and trained on the proper feeding of their kids. That is why the program carries the acronym WAGI, which stands for Wastong Aralin at Gabay ni Ina sa Nutrisyon. WAGI sa Nutrisyon. RC Makati is no stranger to basic health and nutrition programs as it has a regular supplementary feeding program under Kabisig ng Kalahi. As they say, poverty is a complicated issue, but feeding a child is not. The Rotary Club of Makati will always do its share in giving children a fighting chance to survive.
So thank you to the Caritas Manila, which is also our partner in the Sandakbay Drug Rehab Project, initiated during the time of past President Junjun Dayrit, and the St. John Bosco Parish. The new program aims to supply hot meals to 157 undernourished children from poor families in Tondo, Manila, every day for 120 feeding days. Last Saturday, IPP Peter Manzano, his son Miko, and I traveled approximately 372 kilometers to Narbacan, Ilocos Sur, to deploy the next batch of 38 reef buds to our reef buds project in the Sea of Narbacan. The buds in this new batch were named after our new members and our guest speakers this Rotary year. The reef bud, actually for our guest speaker today, Michelle, was already among those that were immersed in the sea. There you go, Michelle. That's your reef bud. As we reported after our last visit to the site, the reef buds that were deployed last year by immediate past President Peter have already thrived with marine life, thus contributing to the regeneration of the once moribund marine life in the seas of Narvacan. The new batch of reefs that were deployed brings to 246 the total number of reef buds planted, which now form a rotary wheel. We must thank and again congratulate IPP Peter Manzano for this signature environment project, as it occupies a place among the club's extensive list of enduring projects that would pass the test of time. Also, our response mechanism to natural disasters was once again tapped after the Bulusan volcano in Sorsogon had a phreatic eruption last June 5, shooting plumes of volcanic ash skyward and raining volcanic debris on several towns. So on the 16th of June, we joined hands with RC Metro Sorsogon and RC Tiaong Hias to distribute relief goods to some 500 families, 246 families in Barangay Puting Sapa and 256 in Barangay Katanusan, both in Huban, Sorsogon, areas which were badly hit by the ash fall. The Rotary Club of Makati donated essentials to the affected families, 7 liters of water and 10 pieces each of KN95 masks for each family. RC Metro Sorsogon provided the logistics and handled the coordination, while RC Tiaong Hias donated bread. This relief mission in Bulusan was made possible by cash donations of 310,000 from our very generous 50 Rotarians and 1 Ann. To them, our deepest thanks in behalf of the affected families in Sorsogon. Also, we would like to congratulate our brother, Rotarian Jun Lumagi, who has been named Deputy Commissioner for Operations Designate by President-elect Bongbong Marcos. Jun Lumagi served as the Regional Investigation Division Chief of Revenue Region number 7B of the National Capital Region prior to his appointment. We wish you the best of luck, Jun. And finally, we're ending this year on a festive, happy, and a celebratory note with our annual awards and Thanksgiving program on Tuesday, the 28th of June, 6 p.m. This will be at the McKinley Room of the Manila Polo Club. This is one event that I urge you not to miss, as this will be our swan song this Rotary year. So, see you all there. Back to you, Cecil. Thank you.
Thank you, President Louie. Wow, you really exemplify Rotary's motto of service above self. It was still a busy week for you in the remaining days of your presidency when some outgoing incumbents choose to simply wind down and rest. I see First Antes Asioche grinning from ear to ear as your term reached its end. Didn't the year go fast, President Louie and First Antes? A short but fulfilling year it must have been. Now I call on Ami Diliatuya, wife of Treasurer Bong, to introduce our guest speaker.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am beyond excited about the conversation we're going to have because the topic is very close to every woman's heart. Jewels, and the important role they play in our lives. After all, they not only amplify who we are, but they also evoke memories, emotions, celebrations, and so much more. And here to discuss Every Jewel Has a Story is the president of Miladay Jewels, a family-owned business that creates stunning pieces of jewelry for decades. Our speaker, like a gem, radiates positivity that's infectious, you'll see. She's happily married to her husband of 35 years, Mr. Dayrit-Soliven, and our fellow Rotarian, Director Philip Soliven, is her brother-in-law. She's a proud mother of a very good son, Vincent, a healed servant and president of Healing Servants Foundation, Inc., a prayer warrior and two-time cancer survivor, and a writer for Philippine Star. She went only to one school her entire life, Assumption all the way, and even now serves her beloved alma mater through the community of Lay Assumption. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us via Zoom, please help me welcome President of Miladay, Ms. Michelle Dayrit-Soliven.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. President Louie, distinguished members of the Rotary Club of Makati, happy Rotary Anns Day! I'm so excited to be here and so kilig. Thank you to my dear brother-in-law, Philip, for this very kind invitation. Don't worry, gentlemen, I'm not here to scare you. I'm merely here to entertain you with what I call a feel-good jewelry appreciation talk. So, are you ready? Growing up in a family business engaged in the creation of fine jewels since 1966 has allowed me to appreciate them, not just for how much they cost, but for how much they mean to us. It is my fervent hope that through this short talk, you too will feel the kind of jewels, the kind of joy that fine jewels bring into our lives. Every jewel has a story, and there are many stories I am so excited to share with you today. To begin, Miladay Jewels was a gift of love from our late dad to our late mom, Mila Dayrit, who coined it Miladay after the woman he loved. They passed away in 1998, leaving their legacy of love and trust carried on by the second generation. And I am the second of their 5 children. By the way, my late dad was also a Rotarian from Makati. I have to give you a real confession. Do you know that at the onset of the pandemic, I was very, very terrified. I had never experienced anything like it, and in the most unexpected manner. You know, fine jewels were categorized as not essential, and all our stores were shut down. I was so traumatized. I kept my jewels out of sight. I couldn't even bear to look at them, fearing that this would be the painful end of our parents' legacy. I really prayed so hard for God's mercy. You see, in all our 55 years, Milliday never missed a payroll. We have wonderful employees who've been with us for some more than 30 years. So during the lockdown, whenever checks had to be signed, my hands would tremble for fear that we would be unable to keep up our livelihood. A dear friend, Father Gerard de Vesa, he said, Michelle, don't be afraid. Something good will come of this. Just continue to help those in need. Pray, trust in God. So we fed the valiant frontliners through a CSR project called Meal a Day. For 8 months, we delivered 200 hot meals daily to hospitals. Meal a Day was also supported by compassionate friends who chose to treat the frontliners instead of having birthday parties, proving that helping others is truly the antidote to sadness. And I know you Rotarians believe in this. And in the midst of all the trials, I was so surprised. I began to receive calls. First, from my dual assistant, who said that Neil Arce wanted to gift his fiancée, Angel Locsin, with earrings for her birthday. And he came to our store, even if it was closed, we opened it. He was so happy. There is the ring that Neil bought from Milliday to surprise Angel when he asked her to be his wife. As a 4-carat princess cut. My next story was my batchmate, Ola Regala, was appointed president of Assumption College. She bravely said yes, undaunted by the pandemic. Can you imagine receiving that kind of assignment during a pandemic? She wanted to have a gold necklace made to deliver her message of faith, hope, and love to inspire students and teachers. So our workshop created it. There you see the drawing. And then it was made in yellow gold. She loved it. And today she wears it every day to inspire the students to deliver faith, hope, and love. My neighbor, Tita Vicky, wanted to show her appreciation to her very faithful yayas. You know, our yayas, they are the jewels of our household, right? Those who did not even go on day off for 2 years during the pandemic. She gifted them with precious gifts. She bought yellow gold medals and yellow gold chains that they were so thrilled to receive. Gifts of appreciation to her yayas that would last forever. She also assessed her jewel collection because she had time and decided that it was time to have her jewels restyled and loose gemstones set in order to gift to her 3 granddaughters. I was so excited to do this project for them. I have another friend named Giselle who wanted to surprise her sister with a yellow gold rosary bracelet for her birthday. So we delivered it and she received it with tears of joy. There is it. There it is. Yellow gold rosary bracelet. Thus, we were able to reopen our closed doors and our hearts to what we coined a new season of hope around June, when our stores were allowed to open again by the malls. But I continued to receive calls because I was not able to go to work. I had to stay home because of my comorbidities. But one morning I received a text from a young doctor who said, Tita, I'm planning to propose to my girlfriend of 7 years. I was so excited to guide Dr. Mark, who you see in the picture, through the total experience. He became my daily caller till the day of the proposal, and I shared this excitement till the wedding day as Ninang. So I am now Ninang to this beautiful couple. Dr. Mark is an eye surgeon, and his beautiful wife, Cara, who's also a doctor, doing her residency at Makati Med. My next story is Theo, so in love with his wife, unfazed by the pandemic, surprised her with an intimate wedding on their 15th anniversary. Imagine he bought her a wedding gown, this solitaire diamond ring, earrings, and an eternity bracelet. They renewed their vows in Tagaytay. You know, it meant so much to me because I used to attend to his parents when Theo was just a toddler. And now to see him all grown up, he has followed his dad's example of always appreciating and loving his wife. And this event was witnessed by their only son during the pandemic. Speaking of dads, my late dad used to say, since most people don't know what they're buying, it's important to know who they're buying it from. Hence, I value the trust of the young people who call me for advice. One morning, Enrique texted me, Tita, can I call you? He wanted to find a ring for his girlfriend and needed help. So I offered to send a selection of rings to his home so his whole family could help him make this exciting decision, which made it so memorable. Later, the proposal was also a family event. I was so thrilled to receive a text from the bride's mom who thanked me for helping her future son-in-law find the perfect ring. And there they are. The engagement day, you see the joy on their faces. I'm sure some of you can relate to. So when people ask me, Tita, how do you know that it's real? I ask, the love or the diamond? The diamond pala. I simply say, there's no such thing as perfection in this world. So if it's imperfect, that means it's real. In buying a diamond or precious gemstone or South Sea pearls, one must look for flaws, defects, imperfections, inclusions, or blemishes. Kasi in life, there's really no such thing as perfection. Like in nature, all of us are imperfect. Beautiful, but imperfect. So the presence of imperfections in diamonds tells you that it's natural. If they don't have any, they are synthetic. So I give them a little diamond grading lesson, which I will share with you now. How do you determine the value of a diamond? Okay, simply the 4 C's. There's the cut, the color, the clarity, and the carat weight. So let's start with the cut. When you talk about diamond cut, it doesn't refer to the shape of a diamond, okay? Rather, it refers to how well the diamond is cut and polished, including how well proportioned the stone is in depth and symmetry. Because the cut directly impacts the beauty and brilliance. In short, if a diamond is well cut, it will sparkle and captivate you with its brilliance. I always say, no 2 diamonds are alike. So whatever your heart tells you, that's what you go for. Next is color. Whenever we talk about color in the diamond grading world, they use letters. But sometimes letters are difficult to comprehend. So I devised a very easy method for you to understand the color grading of diamonds. Because letters may be difficult, maybe you can deal with the numbers, right? So just remember, start with letter D. D as in diamond. Treat this like the D. This is the diamond alphabet. It starts with letter D. So D is 100. E is 99. F is 98. So if somebody says, I bought a G-color diamond, then you know it means 97. If somebody says, I bought an H-color diamond, then you say, oh, 96. So then you can kind of visualize the color, right? Next, we go to clarity. If you're trying to determine what is the best clarity for a diamond, remember, no diamond is perfectly pure. So please be careful when people say, ay, perfect yan, perfect yan. Remember, there's no such thing as perfect, okay? If ever, it is so, so rare it must be included by a certificate. But just to make you understand the terms, clarity is, I want to explain to you. When they say IF, it means eternally flawless. This is so extremely rare. F means flawless, again, very rare. VVS means you can see some very slight inclusion, but you can only see it with a lens, and it's very hard to find. If we say VS, that means you can see it with a lens, with a little difficulty, but nonetheless, you can see it. SI, slightly included, means with a lens, you can see the defect immediately. I, or included, means even with a naked eye, you can see the defect of the diamond. Okay, so I also want to tell you about the carat weight. The carat weight measures how much a diamond weighs. Diamond prices increase with carat weight, so the bigger the diamond, the rarer it is, and therefore the more costly. But I have to tell you this. Diamonds are the hardest natural substance known to man, meaning it's rated 10 on the hardness scale. You can't possibly break a diamond. So what does this mean? Simply, you should keep wearing them. Don't be afraid to wear your diamonds every single day. My sister-in-law, Jeanette, says, I work so hard, so I reward myself with fine jewels. I wear them while I work because they make me happy. They energize me. I said, Jeanette, you are a very good example of my late mom's rule. Jewelry must be worn every single day. My late mom, Mila Dayrit, used to say, looking good is feeling good. So please don't be afraid to wear your jewels. And if you are not wearing them, I urge you, please give them away to someone who will appreciate them. And remember, a woman should never be without a pair of earrings. They add sparkle and pizzazz to your face. I always say, do not ever be without lipstick and earrings. Okay, Rotary Anns, remember that. I want to tell you about my dear friend Val, who continues to wear the jewels passed on to her by her late mother, Wilma. She is a great speaker and motivator. And she was also a cancer patient. When I visited her in the hospital, she looked like this. She showed me all the jewels she was wearing. And she said, your late mom made this for my late mom. And so I wanted to show it to you. I was so touched because we were having a chemo party. And whenever we have chemo parties, we all get dressed up. And she wore all her jewelry. One day, she was walking in New York and someone stopped her admiring her jewels, falling in love with them, and offered to buy them. But Val politely received the kind words, though she couldn't sell them because she said, they belong to my late mom. Thank you for appreciating them. And I do appreciate the work of my late mom too in creating these jewels that have come down to the next generation. Fine jewelry is appreciated, not just for its value, but for the love it represents and the priceless joy it brings. I can't think of any other gift of love that, one, does not depreciate, but appreciates through time. Two, is transportable. Three, needs minimal maintenance. Four, can be worn and enjoyed every single day. Five, can be passed on from generation to generation. Six, may be recycled. Most of all, makes the recipients feel special and oh so loved. And you know what? They last forever. One of my favorite stories. Way back in the 80s, Tita Millet came to our store in Mayfair Center, Ayala Commercial Center. Do you guys know where that was? Well, our age is showing. She purchased a pair of diamond earrings, 1 carat each. And she said, my boys are still in school. I will invest in a pair that I can enjoy wearing first. And when they decide to get engaged, I will gift it to them. And that is exactly what happened, those lucky boys. Those diamonds she bought at 30,000 per carat in the 80s are now selling at more than 300,000 pesos per carat. At that time, gold was about 300 pesos per gram. And now, it's almost 3,000 pesos per gram. Her jewel story began with beautiful investments to wear. So she enjoyed them then, but today, they are happily worn by her lovely daughters-in-law. My next story is about Dan, who recently dreamed of proposing to his girlfriend, but thought a diamond engagement ring was beyond his reach. But one day, he happened to be in Mega Mall, and he saw Milliday, so he walked in and was so surprised to find rings within his budget. He called me and said, wow, tita, I thought I couldn't afford Milliday, but look what I bought. Our late mother's wish was for everyone to own a Milliday, no matter how small. And I like to say, it doesn't matter. The size doesn't matter, because big or small will be appreciated since it is given with such great love. So he recently proposed to her, and she said yes. And by the way, who says it has to be a diamond? I had a call from my friend Maribel, whose son was looking for a yellow sapphire ring on a rose gold setting. You see, we made one to suit his budget. There it is. And his fiancée was ecstatic. Blue sapphire engagement rings are also popular. Shasha's pretty daughter, Kirill, got engaged with a blue sapphire ring, just like Lady Diana. You know, there is also a choice now of non-solitaire diamond rings. We call it Marquesa, being a marriage of princess and marquis cut diamonds, cleverly set together to give the illusion of being one big round solitaire diamond ring, oval in this case, at 1/5 the price. You know, we have a van driver named Marcelo who drove us around Europe. He's based in Italy. He speaks Italian. We highly recommend him to drive you around Europe if ever you're going. He recently bought this fashionable Marquesa diamond ring and proposed to his longtime girlfriend. I'm so proud of that. The romance of our business is exhilarating. We have met amazing people through the years and are grateful to witness the most beautiful love stories. One of the very first pair of wedding rings made by Milliday were for Fernando Po and Susan Roses for their altar day. They're gone, but the rings are still there. And Susan told me that, you know, she always wore her ring because it kept her faithful. Jo Marie Chan surprised his beloved Mary Ann with a song and an eternity diamond bracelet on their anniversary. And he says, Michelle, I love the things I buy at Milliday. Can I tell you my late dad's jewel story? He was a Rotarian, I told you, but he passed away at 60, leaving us his rest home in Antipolo, which he loved because it was our happy family place. One day, our brother brought up the idea of opening it up to others as a venue to celebrate love. He said our Antipolo neighbor, furniture artist Benji Reyes, offered to design it. My sisters and I loved the idea, but we were stunned. How could we afford Benji? One chair alone costs $1 million now. It's more than our jewelry. But Mark had an idea. He said when Benji was just starting his career as a young furniture maker, he was unable to buy his wife a ring. So my brother Mark designed a beautiful ring, which he gifted to Benji. Benji tearfully gifted it to his beloved Karina on their 25th wedding anniversary. Today, our late dad's home is called the Emerald, and you see the pictures? Beautifully designed by Benji Reyes. This gem in Antipolo sits serenely on a hill, features a wide alfresco garden, romantic sunsets, and a gorgeous view. It's a special events venue where milestones of love are continuously celebrated, even during pandemic. My next story is about my classmate, Virgie, whose family invited me to come over on the day they opened her late mom's jewelry vault. She passed away, leaving 9 children, all very close. Wow, 9 children, ang saya, di ba? They wished to divide her jewels into 9 lots of more or less equal value. It took me and my jewel assistant a whole day to do it, but it was such a joy to do. As we examined each piece, the daughters began to recount their memories. The best part was Virgie told me that it was a magical family experience because they raffled off the 9 lots, and would you believe, everyone was so happy with what they got. It was exactly what they prayed for, exactly what they liked. So today, Veronique, who you see in the picture, Virgie's daughter, proudly wears her Lola's jewels in Switzerland, where she lives, as they were already passed on to her by her mommy, Virgie. You see how jewels can be transported, they can be worn all throughout, and always with loving memories of the giver. Now, speaking of grandmothers, we have also received jewelry given to grandsons by their grandmothers as engagement rings. You may want to consider doing this for future engagement gifts. I'm sure your sons or grandsons would greatly appreciate them. Family heirloom na, engagement ring pa. So it's so precious, diba? That is something priceless. Father Dennis reminded us that there are 3 things you need in order to live a happy life. 1, something meaningful to do, which I know you at Rotary already have been doing. Number 2, something to look forward to. And number 3, somebody to love. Our Milladay family continues to live happily, serving our advocacies like the Milladay Foundation, a Healing Servants Foundation, Assumption Sisters, Verbum Dei Missionaries, and the Carewell Cancer Community. During the pandemic, our brother embarked on a tree planting project to regreen the hills of the National Forest in Bataan. Every month, we support Jesuit prison ministry and advocacy of our dad's sister. So I was very touched by the Rotary projects on the cancer support to give women, of reforestation, and also of the Sorsogon, because our school is also in Sorsogon, and all your many advocacies. Every day, we continue to build and nurture relationships, to love and make people feel loved through the work we all love to do. Every day, we thank God for allowing us to continue this very happy business. We also do retrofitting of Assumption Sisters rings. Do you want to know what retrofit means to the Assumption Sisters? Okay. When a dear sister takes her vows, she's given a gold ring. Her chosen name and Bible verse is engraved on it. She wears it for life. When she passes away, do you know that her ring is kept to pass on to the next sister who then takes her vows? We restyle, resize, repolish, and engrave it. So you see, the love is graciously passed on from sister to sister. Yun ang forever. One of my favorite pandemic jewel stories is that of my friend Cynthia, who wished to help the Verbum Dei. Verbum Dei is a community of missionary priests who teach us to pray with the Word of God. During the pandemic, the school went on Zoom with my sister Yvonne as Zoom master. You know, we receive so much strength and comfort from the weekly teachings about the Word of God. If not for them, I would not have been able to face the trials of the pandemic on my own. Cynthia wanted to help support the missionaries so that they can continue to spread the love of God. So she opened her vault. She brought out her mom's vintage jewelry, which she inherited as gifts of love, and she sent them to me to recreate. I was feeling down then and needed something meaningful to do. And I was so thrilled when I saw her mom's big vintage brooch made of gold and diamonds. Look at that. It's a vintage brooch. And by breaking it up in the workshop, we were able to create 11 fine pieces of jewelry, namely 5 pairs of diamond stud earrings, 3 solitaire diamond rings, and 3 fine diamond cross pendants. Imagine all of that from that one big vintage brooch. She also had other bigger pieces. We were able to break up into finer pieces, coming up with a total of 22 pieces of fine jewelry. I coined it the Joyful Jewels Collection. She organized an online auction and they were all sold out. She was so excited to be able to help the missionaries with the funds this jewel collection produced. The buyers, they were so grateful to support our cause and have lovely jewels to wear. So our persistent prayers were answered during the pandemic as many good things happened. We had to close some stores, but we were granted a beautiful store space at the Power Plant Mall in Rockwell and a beautiful new location in Mall of Asia. And today, our third generation's youthful fine jewel collection called 1380 takes center stage with our niece, Sam Dayrit, at the helm of marketing, and her sister, Alexandra, our host for live selling events. Yes, the third generation has begun. The name 1380 is inspired by our ancestral home where love abounds. In conclusion, today, as I stand before you, I am no longer afraid. I wear my jewels with more pride and higher appreciation. Looking back at all these jewel stories turned my fears into joy because I realized that love is essential. Hence, Mille Day will always be here as couples continue to fall in love and get engaged. They get married, they celebrate their anniversaries, they have babies who grow up and fall in love, have families who exchange jewel gifts, reward and appreciate one another. Jewels will be recycled for their advocacies, and jewels will be handed down to be treasured by the next generation. Love is what drives one to appreciate fine jewels as precious and lasting gifts. And remember, love never goes out of fashion. Even in pandemic season, people still choose to love and will continue to invest in love. And I believe that we will be able to celebrate Mille Day's 56th anniversary this year. So yes, every jewel has a story, one that conveys great love. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I could go on and on and on, but now I leave you to ponder on what is your jewel story. Thank you for appreciating and have a wonderful time recalling or creating your very own. Oh, and may I say something? Last part. I have a surprise for you. We have a gift of love for all of you today. Our late Mama Mila said looking good is feeling good. And a woman should never be without earrings, right? So we chose a dainty pair of hoop earrings in two-tone, white and yellow gold. It will be raffled off courtesy of the Milliday family. God bless all your endeavors, dear Rotarians, and thank you for listening to my stories. Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you, Michelle, for that very informative and entertaining talk. I'm sure the ladies enjoyed that, probably more than the gentlemen did. By the way, Michelle is somewhat related to my husband, Junjun.
Yes, he's my cousin.
But
He's my cousin.
But the first cousin is Ola, the president of Assumption, with your story. Ola is Junjun's first cousin. So Junjun, take the hint and keep these love stories within the family.
Cecil, you're wearing a Milliday ring.
Okay. Now, I got distracted with that. The floor is now open with questions from the audience. Oh, okay, so we got it from the audience. We got one from the audience now.
We were, thank you, by the way, it was Michelle. That was interesting, even for us men who were here in this small table. We were just talking, okay, because our President Louis Asoechi's term ends in about a few days, okay? So he was talking to us some weeks back that he would like to give his first Ann wife something, you know, but he said he wanted something that's maintenance free. He wanted something that could be recycled later. He wanted something that was a true value. And so would you like to recommend, sorry, I couldn't capture all of those, but do you have a recommendation for our President Louis Asoeche, please? Thank you.
Definitely many ideas. And don't worry, President Louis, love does not have to cost that much. I recommend a pair of earrings, again, that she can wear every day, or a nice diamond cross, or gold cross with a chain that she can wear every day. You know, the cross is the most remarkable sign of God's gift and God's love for all of us. So that would be nice.
I think that should be a tradition here, that a president gives his wife on his outgoing month. And that's why
I would be very happy to help you with that.
president.
I'd be very happy to help you with that. I feel close to Rotary because my sister Jackie is also in Rotary. And my dad, like I said, my dad and mom were quite
Yeah, your
happy.
sister is in RCM Premier District. And then your brother is in RC Manila Bay.
My brother, that's
Oh.
right. My brother Marlon.
Tony, I was just wondering, what is the recycle criteria? What
Gold
do you-
is recyclable. You melt it and you can make it. So if there are pieces that are very big, it's time to downsize and make them into smaller pieces so that the younger generation can wear them. Imagine, from that one piece, we made 11 pieces.
Are we
Kasi
not gonna
noon,
have-
malalaki.
Michelle, aren't you going to offer a promotional discount today for the
Of
Rotarians?
course. Yes, certainly. Yes, certainly.
Yeah, I mean,
You can get my number from Ron. You can get my number from Ron, and I'd love to help you.
Ron is one of your clients also.
Yeah, no, Ron is my new friend, your chief of staff.
Yeah.
Ang
Even
galing-galing
PDG
niya.
Sid, who's not here, I'm sure
He
that he
helped
will
me.
agree to pay for whatever Tesha.
Yeah,
I'm
yes,
sure that he will agree to pay.
I'll be very happy to extend a special discount to all the Rotary members and all the friends, all present here today.
Well, you know, Michelle, my wife Cecile already mentioned to you that Ola Regala is my first cousin.
Yes,
But
so
on my
pretty.
mother's side, no, and we have two
Yeah.
other things in common. we're both Dayrit, and our mothers are also named Bila.
Yes, yes, cousin Junjun.
Well, anyway, for my question, you mentioned that things were a little difficult during the pandemic. I was just wondering how the jewelry business is doing these days. Now that things are starting to loosen up. I asked this because I've had already several inquiries from some jewelry stores to help them in their inventory control. So I don't know whether the jewelry business is really already picking up, that the jewelry stores are already starting to look at their operations, which were probably shut down during the pandemic, but are now already starting to open up.
It was a very scary time during the pandemic. They closed all our stores, so we had to go online. But I was very grateful, like I said, that I realized. I thought it really, guys, I thought it was going to be the end of our livelihood, the end of a legacy. But no, like I said, continue. We're able to continue. And the stories I shared with you are of real life stories of real life people. And so the blessings we received during this time, we were able to open stores. We had to close 2 stores because our contracts expired and we didn't renew, but we were gifted with 2 more stores. So yes, we're opening another one. We just opened Rockwell, and yes, we're doing all right. Yes, we're doing good. And we're opening MOA. Our designer was there in the store, and he said, it's funny because in that mall, in Mall of Asia, on a Thursday afternoon at 2 p.m., he was at Mary Grace Cafe. There were so many people in that mall that the Mary Grace people couldn't even keep up with their orders. So people are coming out. Yes, we also have a lot of people still getting married, still wanting to be engaged and prepare for that. People gifting one another, showing their love to each other. And yes, I realized during the pandemic more than ever that the jewelry business is here to stay.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle.
I say it with much gratitude.
We have a question, I think, from the wife of PDG Sid.
They said gold, a lot of people are putting money on gold now because of the uncertainty of the economy. So is there a truth that the gold is going up?
Yes, true. Very true.
So do you have a lot of people buying gold from you right now?
Well, people, yeah, we don't sell raw gold. We sell fine jewels made out of gold. And yes, people appreciate them and they wear them every day. Yes.
So, but you're not
sell gold every day.
Like volume on gold right now. You're not into that.
We do not sell raw gold. We sell fine jewels.
I'm not talking raw, but maybe chunk, maybe a bar or. I don't know. Because they said they are like not coins or coins maybe. Because they said because the economy is really not so predictable, so people are putting more money on gold right now. And I hear that from when I'm talking to some people. They said there are a lot of increase in buying gold right now. That's what I'm just asking if that's true.
Yes, a lot of people are buying gold. And holding on to it.
But she's not selling it as a bar. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's me again, but I have a more serious one. I don't know much about jewelry, but something curiosity popped up. Do people insure their jewelry? Is that a practice, and what options are open if they do have a number of items? Yes.
It's very expensive to insure jewelry, but abroad, yes, people do.
Question?
Hi, Michelle, Louis here.
Yes,
Not that I
Louis.
intend to do this, but for example, in pawning jewelry, how do you know if the pawn shop is already pleasing you whenever you pawn a jewelry, like not having a good deal when it comes to the pricing?
What was your question again, President Louis?
For example, not that I intend to do this, but when you pawn a jewelry, when you pawn a jewelry, how would you know? How would you tell if the pawn shop is already pleasing you? Meaning to say, ascribing an outrageously low value on the piece of jewelry that you are pawning.
Oh, okay. Pawn shops normally appraise like 50% of the value of your item. So you must go to someone that you trust. I would always say that. Yes, there are a lot of unscrupulous, sorry to say. So you really have to be careful who you deal with. You should know who you're dealing with, and then you'll feel comfortable.
Well, anyway, this is not a question, Michelle. It's a request. Because I don't know how to reach your sister Yvonne, can you just convey to her our condolences on the passing away of her father-in-law, Tony Romualdez?
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Yeah,
The daily masses are ongoing. They're on the 4th day tomorrow.
Yeah. Anyway, just extend our condolences to Yvonne. Thank you.
Yes, I will. Thank you very much.
Do we have a last question from the floor? Otherwise, I will be calling on President Louis for his response.
Thank you for your glittering presentation, Michelle.
You're very welcome.
That was a good project. That was a play of your company name, Meal a Day. I hope we can have collaborations soon for a feeding program for the kids. To tell you the truth, this is one session which I truly, honestly had difficulty preparing a response. My IQ, same about jewelry, same with BP Tony, is zilch. Go ahead, ask my wife Tess, whose eyes I wanted to cover with a table napkin during your talk. If I get to buy her jewelry, I would need to have someone guide me. Like in one Rotary activity abroad, when a person who goes by the name Peps Bengzon would suggest what to buy. You can really count on Gov Peps if you want to know what it takes to flatter a lady. But your talk, Michelle, increased my IQ on jewelry by a few notches. By the way, VP Tony, you again put me on the spot as you always do, huh? Is that why you're fudging the presidency? But who am I kidding? One does not have to be a rocket scientist to appreciate the beauty of a piece of jewelry. As one is by nature drawn to beauty, so can one appreciate even the simplest item of jewelry, more so when worn by someone you love and you care for. Yes, jewelry on a person, most especially the ladies, is an essential symbol of femininity, to others a symbol of prestige or social stature. It can be used as currency for strictly functional reasons like clasps, pins, and buckles, and even for protection like in olden times, right, Michelle? When non-precious metals were not yet in vogue, like in the form of amulets and talisman. When given as a gift, jewelry conveys a feeling of affection, of love. Like, as you said, Michelle, jewelry given to the yayas is a gesture of appreciation. It is a treasure that gets handed down to generations. The allure of jewelry is staple fare in so many movie productions. Actually, the more exciting plots about heists or robberies would always involve jewelry. The recent film Ocean 8 comes to mind when a gang of ultra cool lady thieves led by Sandra Bullock steals a precious necklace worn by Anne Hathaway, the Cartier Toussaint. And who would forget Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany? The opening scene has the sun still rising over the city of New York. Audrey gets out of a cab in an evening dress and stops to look at Tiffany's window, sipping coffee and eating a Danish. Together with that unforgettable little black dress, Audrey in a tiara and a necklace became an iconic image in Hollywood. So in general, a piece of jewelry among women make them feel special, stylish, energetic, as you said, Michelle, and beautiful. It need not be the most expensive one. For what is important is the value that the recipient ascribes to it. The sentimental value is seen as worth more than the monetary value of a piece of jewelry. A cheap engagement ring can have an infinitely greater intrinsic worth to the recipient, right? Who are we kidding? The bigger the stone, the better. And so once you get past your lean, young, hungry years and make good, Vipitoni, you owe it to your wife to give her a better piece of jewelry. So for giving us your time and for telling us a story behind jewelry, Michelle, please accept our tokens of appreciation. Where are they? Where are the tokens of appreciation? We shall be giving you the 55th coffee table book, recently published and featuring the milestones of the Rotary Club of Makati in the last 55 years. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
This coffee table book with this bottle of red. Hopefully,
Thank you.
one for soon, huh?
Thank you.
A replica of the steel plate, which has your name on it. It was actually planted recently in our recent visit in the Sea of Sulbec in Narvacan. It is already, your reef bed is already there in the Sea of Narvacan. This is in line with our Save Our Reefs project, which is the 7th area of focus of the Rotary Club of Makati. So
thank you, President Louis.
Thank you very much, Michelle, and thank you for your time. So back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, President Louis, for your wonderful response. Now we have a suggestion from the ladies around here. So let me call on Tesha, the Ann of our PDG said she has a suggestion to make.
Louis, thanks for the very, very good year. And I was thinking maybe this raffle might be more meaningful if it's given to Tess. Because it's been a good year and in appreciation for her sacrifice for being such a busy woman and a busy husband to be the recipient of this raffle. So congratulations. Love you, baby.
Yes, do you have a response to that instead of crying there?
Oh.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
We don't need to focus Tess crying for that thank you gift for her. So we now need to have President Louis adjourn the meeting.
No. Oh, okay. You just made her cry. Thank you, Aunt Tesha.
Oh.
Yes,
Now, Louis, you have a jewel story.
yes, I do. So how do I call this? So this meeting is adjourned. I'm swept away. Thank you very much.